Liz, it's finally here. We've finally revealed the Xbox Series S. And I know that I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And despite all the rumors and kind of information that's been rolling around on this particular console for quite some time, I still think that the most striking thing about it is when you see it in its actual form for the first time and how small it is.
It is. It is our smallest Xbox ever. It's so light, it's just over 4 pounds, and it's 11 by 6 inches. It's incredibly quiet. You can store it vertically or horizontally, but don't let this small size fool you. There is incredible next-gen performance in this small package.
When I first saw both the tiny form factor of Xbox Series S alongside our most powerful console ever with Xbox Series X, I couldn't help but be struck at how they looked like they were definitely part of the same family, but maybe not, siblings. We know we built the Xbox Series X to house the most powerful console of the next generation. How should we think about the design intent behind the Xbox Series S?
Well, we built Xbox Series S to deliver all the core features of next-gen gaming. So that's higher frame rates, faster load times, and richer, more dynamic worlds. And so what we saw in prior generations was that cost was really preventing some gamers from joining early in the generation. And when we looked at trends in silicon and hardware costs in this generation, we saw that we weren't going to see the kinds of decreasing costs that we saw in prior generations. And that led us to realize that we could deliver a fully next-gen, more accessible console at the beginning of a generation. And when we were building this, we also realized that a number of our customers cared more about frame rate than they did about resolution. So we realized we didn't have to require a 4K TV for this console. We also learned that a number of players, especially new players, expect their games to come with them across all of their devices. And so we made the Xbox Series S all digital. And by making it all digital, that was one of the things that allowed us to get to this smallest, sleekest Xbox ever.
Well, we know that because these two consoles are coming out at the same point in the generation, they're going to share a lot of the same features, and they actually share a system architecture. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about what that system architecture has enabled and how that's come to light?
Absolutely. We got together with our partners at AMD, and we decided that we were going to co-engineer a second custom SoC based on the Series X architecture, so including both Zen 2 and RDNA 2 technologies. The result of that is that you see very similar CPU performance across Series S and Series X, and you see identical I/O performance. Really, the only difference that you're going to see is in the GPU. And the Series X was designed to run native 4K at up to 120 frames a second, while the Series S was designed to run at 1440p, also at up to 120 frames a second. Now, if you happen to connect your Series S to a 4K TV, you'll be able to take advantage of our advanced hardware scaler and see improved resolution. Now, no matter what TV or setup you have, we want to make sure you have the most immersive experience possible. So we're including Dolby Vision at launch with these consoles, and you'll see that on our streaming apps with our partners like Netflix, Vudu, and Disney+. And Dolby Vision will be coming to games in spring of 2021, and Xbox will be the first console to support Dolby Vision for games. Now, you'll see the same great sound on Xbox Series S that you see on Series X with our spatial sound and Dolby Atmos.
You talked about immersion, which is very important as we think about gaming experiences. It's also important as we think about just the way that the consoles are designed, how much sound they actually emit on acoustics, the size and shape of them, where they fit into your household. Tell us a little bit about the thought and design that went into the actual industrial design of the console.
Well, we design our consoles to fit into your life and lifestyle. So we really focus on materials and finishes because we know that your Xbox is going to live on your shelf for years. We also want to make sure it fits into your household. So that's why we make sure that all of our consoles can be oriented vertically or horizontally. And as you point out, it's not just the physical design, it's also things like acoustics. So our engineering and industrial design teams spend a huge amount of effort making sure these consoles are as quiet as possible. But really, all of these design decisions together bring the focus back to what's most important, which is the games.
And all of that care and thought that went into the console design, that extends to the controller too.
It does. So we announced our new controller with the Series X, and that same controller is going to launch in Robot White with the Series S. And what we really focused on in this, with these new controllers, is to make sure that they were comfortable for more players. So we focused on fit and ergonomics and feel. And I can tell you from using this new controller at home, these small changes make a huge difference in how comfortable the controller is, especially when playing for long periods of time. Now, we've also added a share button, so you can share your game highlights to wherever you'd like. And that share button also works with the Xbox app on your mobile phone.
Okay, so far we've talked about its amazingly small size, we've talked about its tech features, and we've talked a lot about product design and intent. How do we think about comparing the performance on a technical side, maybe even audience perspective, between the Xbox Series S and the Xbox One X?
Well, the short answer is that the Xbox Series S has 4 times the processing power of the Xbox One X and pretty similar graphics. Now, you have to keep in mind that we have a new graphics architecture and new graphics capabilities in this generation, so it's really hard to compare specs like teraflops across generations. Now, it's also worth noting that these two consoles were really built for different kinds of audiences. So the Xbox One X was designed to be the most powerful console ever built and the first to deliver true 4K gaming. With the Series S, we're trying to bring next generation gaming to more people at the beginning of the generation with a lower price.
It is great that we have a lot of options for different folks. We believe that the next generation consoles are going to deliver transformative gaming experiences, and now we have a couple of options for them between the Series S and the Series X. But in the end, the time to upgrade is really up to the player. And if you're playing on your Xbox One X and you're happy there, we're happy you're there, and we're ready for you whenever you're ready to upgrade. Okay, next question. The Series S has a 512 gigabyte custom SSD. How did the team land on that storage size for a digital-only SKU?
Well, when we move to SSD technology, we get much higher performance. But of course, that higher performance comes at a higher cost. And more storage is always better. So we were trying to balance the storage drive size as well as cost, and we landed on 512. Now, the Series S also supports the Seagate storage expansion card. In addition, you can always connect your USB 3.1 drive for additional storage. And we've been working on a number of software features to help you more seamlessly manage your game library between the cloud and your console.
Well, so far we've covered a lot of great details on the Xbox Series S. Now let's have Jason Ronald take us through what it means for game developers and gamers. We've already announced quite a few titles that are coming optimized for Xbox Series X at holiday. That means that they're going to have those faster load times, those higher frame rates, and those richer, more dynamic worlds, because they were built from the ground up to take full advantage of this new architecture from these new consoles. All the games that are coming optimized for Xbox Series X will also be optimized for Xbox Series S. But maybe the best part about the optimized catalog is that it's just a fraction of the number of games that our Xbox gamers are going to be able to play on these new devices come this holiday.
I love being able to say that we're going to have thousands of games at launch. Now, in the last generation, we pioneered backwards compatibility, and we're bringing that forward to unlock the largest launch library ever across 4 generations of content, all the way back to the original Xbox. And our goal is really to unlock content across devices and generations. And for that, we invested in smart delivery. And with smart delivery, you buy a game once, and then we deliver the best version of that game to whatever console you're playing on. So if I'm playing a game on an Xbox One, and then I decide to upgrade to a Series S or a Series X, everything comes with me. My game history, my saves, my achievements, and the best version of the game is automatically delivered to my console.
Thanks so much, Liz. I know that I, for one, am thrilled that all of our console cards are out on the table and we're able to move forward toward launch, telling our full and complete story for the next generation of gaming with Xbox. So this must be a massive moment for you and the team.
We've spent years envisioning and working on the next generation of gaming, and it's finally here. And it is so exciting that the most powerful console ever built will be out this holiday with the Xbox Series X. And I love that we're being able to bring next generation gaming to more people with the Series S.